Joining me now is Mark Salter, the man who wrote that speech, former senior advisor to the McCain campaign, and so much more. His new book is The Luckiest Man, Life with John McCain. And you indeed spent your life with John McCain. The speech you wrote for him, it's going viral now. Why do concession speeches matter? And what is President Trump losing by not making a gracious concession speech?
Well, interestingly, I think it was in McCain's nature to want to move on from any disappointment as rapidly as he could, and he wanted the country to move on, and especially his supporters to move on from their disappointment in the outcome of the election. He had known for a couple of weeks he was probably going to lose, and he was also aware, as you'll remember, some town hall meetings and rallies where some of his supporters questioned then Senator Obama's citizenship, that there were unfounded allegations about the legitimacy of the Obama candidacy, and he wanted to make sure, he discouraged that from continuing. So he wanted to be gracious. He thought he'd be remembered for this speech. Influencing history was the biggest ambition John McCain ever had, and he thought he would be remembered. He was conscious of how he would be remembered by history. So I think Trump is losing all of that to be remembered somewhat better for his exit than he was for his tenure as president by being as ungracious and as foolish as this is. No one in that White House believes that President Trump will return for another 4 years. Nobody can do anything about the fact that on January 20th, Joe Biden will be the 46th president of the United States. Donald Trump can't prevent that. Donald Trump Jr. can't prevent that. Rudy Giuliani can't prevent that. Lindsey Graham can't prevent that. It's a fact. Now, if you were really putting America first, you'd want to do something to at least quiet some of the resentments and not pour gasoline on them over the outcome of this election.
Especially in the middle of a pandemic, which has now reached 10 million Americans and so many deaths and tragedies as well. And the need to move on, the need to get that transition going, especially right now. What advice did Senator McCain give you on writing that speech? The interest in bringing the country together? Yeah.
Yeah, he was very superstitious.
There was also a backstory.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Go on. No, I was going to ask you about, there was a backstory that Sarah Palin wanted to speak as well, which was not traditional. And I guess knowing that her tone might not be what he wanted to strike, that she was prevented from giving a speech that night.
Yeah, I think Matt Scully wrote her speech. He's a beautiful speechwriter, and it would have been nothing but gracious. So John just didn't want to prolong the experience. He just felt, he would go out, concede the election as graciously as he could, encourage everyone to rally behind our new president, and we'd all move on. He wanted to move on, and he went as soon as he gave that speech. He dismissed, he said, he told a Secret Service detail, I'd appreciate a ride home, and then you guys go home to your families where our association is over. And he wants the country to move on. That was always the way he approached, even successes. He didn't want to, remain sort of captive to them. He wanted to move on to the next thing. And he thought that was important for the country. I don't think it was out of a concern that she would give an ungracious speech. That wouldn't have happened. He told me in advance what he wanted to say. He wanted to recognize the special historical significance of Senator Obama's election. That was important to him. As I said, he thought he would be remembered for this speech, and he wanted to do everything as right as he could. He was superstitious, so he generally didn't like us writing speeches on election night before we knew the outcome. But we had talked about it at length, and he had given me leave to prepare it a little earlier than usual, but I kind of held off anyway till we got the second wave of exits, and we knew where it was going.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me, or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.